when you have more and more people relying on you or depending on you, or it becomes a little more, I'm glad I'm not a man. I'm glad I'm not a man.
Well, do you want to flesh that out a little bit, why you're glad you're not a man?
Well, I think that as a woman, I'm being told over and over again that I should read the book, The Queen's Code, some Alison Armstrong, I think. And every woman that I know that has read
Elf or L?
Alison Armstrong. Yeah, Elf. Jump on that, princess. Okay. Every woman that I know that's read the book, they say that it just opens up this area of their hearts and their mind of how God sees them. That God sees children a certain way, and God sees men in a certain way. And we as women, we've gotten so accustomed to not putting ourselves on the list. When we look at ourselves in the mirror, we don't even see ourselves, and therefore, by extension, we may not even consider how God sees us, and how God sees us through the eyes of the Father, but also how God sees us as a partner to one of His sons. And last year, I was having a conversation with a gentleman talking about how he has a daughter. He has 4 children: a daughter, twin sons, and a younger daughter. And there's a discord in the family right now because the daughter believes that the sons are getting more attention, more priority. Conversation went around. So let me get to my point. We as women, I'm all for a woman's rights and women being respected and women being honored and being valued. But I have no desire to have the same responsibilities of a man. The Bible clearly says, men, love your wives as Christ loved the church. How did Christ love the church so much? He died for the church. A man needs to be ready to give up his life for his wife and children. The marriage is a covenant. It is a tag team. Women are strong and smarter and better at some things, and men are strong and better at some things. We don't have to be better and stronger all the time in everything. It's not designed that way. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've never been married, but there's just things. Yes, there are things that women can do that men do. We don't have to. We do not have to. If there's this, what was this one line I told you from the show? It was from the Yellowstone shows. 1883, the prelogue. Anyway,
there's quite a few prelogues.
There's quite a few. Right. But it's the one where the family were established, where the Dutton family was established, and they were moving from the Midwest out to the West.
That's 1883.
1883. And there was a part where the husband of the family needed to go out and do something dangerous. And he tells his wife, I should be coming back tomorrow, but if I'm not back by tomorrow night, you keep going and you fight like a damn panther. Women back then knew how to handle weapons. Women back then knew how to continue the battle if the patriarch ceased to live.
Didn't make it.
Right. Okay.
They traveled back at that time. If anybody traveled, they were gone for months, sometimes years.
Yes.
And people still remain married, faithful. Well, hopefully faithful, but sometimes, people do what people do. But when they came back, right?
They came back.
I like how you're talking about this. Continue. Sorry.
No, yeah. So he was saying, fight like a damn panther, meaning, yeah, the woman still had a place in still being a powerful, vicious, hellcat if necessary.
We can still be vicious and still be feminine.
Exactly. And I'm told that that's what the book, the Queen's Code is about. You can still be a warrior, but also in that feminine side. God gave us gifts and talents and skills that only we as women can complete and perform, that the man doesn't have to, and vice versa. Because the man can't do this, and that, or can't do this, and that. God in his infinite wisdom designed us to fill in this, and that. And why do we fight that? And that's why I said, thank God I'm not a man, because there's just some things that men have to do that I don't.
True. I mean, the thing that's fascinating to me, Jessica, is as I'm like listening to you talk about the Queen's Code, or pardon?
Good eyebrows, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Hear you talk about the Queen's Code and the fact that I love this phrase that I said, that we can be vicious and feminine. Absolutely. And how that made me smile. I'm like, you weird woman who thinks that gets pleasure out of viciousness. and why?
Because we have our moments where we want to watch our good rom-coms, and then we're like, we need some.
Sometimes I want to see somebody get their butts kicked.
Yes, give me some John Wick, Godfather.
Absolutely. But the thing is, for me, because I love because we're in spiritual battle on a daily basis, we've been told, and it's not proper doctrine, that although the men are the head of the house, as they should be, that is how God created it.
Yes.
Men are the head of the house, but women are called to be warriors in their house.
Yes.
Like, I believe that Proverbs 31 talks about all these beautiful attributes of this woman, that she was industrious. She, her husband was honored. You don't think that woman was doing some spiritual warfare? She got up early. She went to bed late. She was warring for that family, whether it's warring in praying for her family, covering her family, covering her husband in prayer, because
Yes.
nobody knows what those battles of that man are, right? So that's how we ought to, that's how we, what our function is, beyond all the other things that the world puts on us. And I'm not necessarily trying to be the perfectionism of what the ideal Proverbs 31 woman looks like, but taking some skills that this woman has and trying to achieve them.
Yeah.
They're achievable, and maybe doing a study on it, because maybe I just don't have the full understanding of what it means to be that woman, because I've been trying to be Whitney Houston's every woman. I'm not.
Tired girl. I don't have the capacity to try to be every woman anymore.
Mm-mm.
Lord knows
I'm
I
trying to
figured
be
that out.
this woman.
Listen, I figured that out last quarter of 2024.
What was that phrase that you said something like 24 changed me? I don't know. There was a phrase that you've used often, in this year.
I kept saying 2024 changed me. For the better or for the worse, it changed me. I don't know if the Lord is saying, this is you, move forward, or I'll let you go only so far, but you're going to get yourself in trouble. Again, 2024 changed me in ways, health, family, finances, career. I've become far less tolerant. And I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. I don't know if it's hidden under discernment. I mean, I don't know. I just don't have the capacity for BS anymore.
Mm-hmm.
However, I've become aware now more than ever that when a woman is off the charts, out of control, I will no longer call her, why is homegirl acting crazy? Now I'm like, maybe she is in perimenopause or menopause and has no support that she needs. 2024 changed me. I have no capacity to put up with unjustified BS. I have no capacity anymore for differences in doctrine. And I'm going to be, how do I say this delicately and gently? I am seeking truth much more viciously, not even militantly, viciously. If we are of the same spirit, I am concerned with how we as the body of Christ differ in so many of the minors that have become unnecessarily majors, that have made us look so comical, infuriatingly and detrimentally comical to unbelievers. We talk about how we try to keep our radar up if there's a church that, Jesus needs to come in flipping tables at. I think Jesus needs to start coming to some of our homes and flipping our own tables. I'm sorry. And I'm in this journey to do what Jesus doesn't have to turn a table in my house. And, I think 2023, early 24 was the year where, Lord, do you want me to be mindful of the dark spirit realm?